All right, so Elon retweeted SpaceX's tweet. SpaceX's rideshare offering provides increased access to space for small satellite operators seeking a reliable, affordable ride to orbit.
And then Pranay said, the Starlink sats onboarded, what's the black pipe object that's acting as a covering at the end? Considering that they'll be deployed in the polar orbit and you'll need lasers to cover areas like Antarctica, is it possible that those are laser links?
And then Elon said, lasers. So then Tyler said, this is how they communicate, their whole concept of operations. And Mega Constellation said, this was their CONOP before they shelved OISLs in May 2019 and launched 1,000 satellites without LCTs. Only now they are reinvigorating the concept of meshing satellites, and that will probably remain exclusive to the polar orbit planes until the sats in 55-degree planes are replaced. And Elon said, yup. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about.
So let's kind of break it down. Right now, the Starlink satellites that are up there in the sky are not talking to each other using lasers like the whole point of Starlink is.
Wait, I thought it was a big meshing constellation.
Well, because they were basically testing, the satellites that are up there now are temporary. They're going to deorbit themselves when they are done, and Tesla has replaced them with laser communicating satellites.
But there's 1,000 of them.
There is, but SpaceX can launch them for so cheap, it doesn't really matter. Here's the interesting point. Right now, all the Starlink satellites up there need to rely on ground stations to kind of bounce the information to the people, which is why they don't have infinite coverage.
Oh, so this is why Elon said all sats launched next year will have laser links. Only our polar sats have lasers this year and our version 0.9.
And this goes right into the Tasmanian article that says SpaceX launches first satellites to polar orbit to provide internet to service in Alaska.
And Elon said these also have laser links between the satellites, so no ground stations are needed over the poles. Oh, wait, so basically what we all thought of as Starlink is coming a little bit later, or now. All this early stuff is just direct to ground base.
Exactly. So if you weren't in the range between bouncing your signal up to a satellite and then down to a ground base, you wouldn't have internet, even if you were able to look at one of the satellites, because the satellites weren't able to pass the signal along the chain of other satellites in the sky and back down to a ground base. Now these polar satellites, which aren't going to have as many ground stations because barring Santa's workshop, there just isn't any place with internet over either of the poles. And so this means that for people like Santa who live on the North Pole, you would actually be able to get internet through the satellite network because it would go up from a ground station to a satellite, to another satellite, to another satellite, and then back down to you.
I'm going to have to break something to you after the show. But Michael Sheets said, SpaceX says it plans to increase Starlink's download speeds from around 100 megabits per second currently to 10 gigabits per second in the future.
Whoa, 10 gigabits per second. That's faster than pretty much any internet I think I have access to.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Now, Michael Sheets went on to say SpaceX dismissed Amazon's protest of the modification as attempts to stifle competition, saying Amazon makes misleading claims of interference and emphasizing that the competing Project Cooper network represents still nascent plans. Elon said it does not serve the public to hamstring Starlink today for an Amazon satellite system that is at best several years away from operation. So yeah, so basically Amazon doesn't like what Elon's doing because they're way out in front. Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching Now You Know Clips.
You can watch full episodes of Tesla Time News on Mondays and in-depths on Fridays. Just click the link down below to head over to the Now You Know channel.